Hi everybody, today, Friday, April 24th, this is Nima from the YWCA, and I have this really important piece of paper in my hand, which is the workout that you're going to do. So as you see, there is lots you're going to do today. So we have two parts. I'm going to talk about part one first, and then we go through part two. For part one, which is actually it's going to feel pretty cardio. So you're going to raise your heart rate, and your heart rate is going to stay up for a little bit until you're done with part one. Now, you're going to do mountain climbers for 1 minute, and then 12 jumping lunges, followed by 12 down-ups, and again, another 1 minute mountain climbers, and you're going to do this 3 times. Now, let me put my phone over here. I had to redo this video because I dropped my phone the other time. So that should stay. I need to move it down a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't fall. All right, so mountain climbers. We've done mountain climbers a lot. I believe before I started doing these videos, you had done mountain climbers so many times. But let's review the movements, because there is a common mistake, and I'm going to mention that common mistake in this video, so hopefully you don't do it anymore. Now, I mean, if you were doing it. Now, we are going to start from high plank position. My hands are underneath my shoulders, and my body looks upright. So what does that mean? I don't have my hip up here. I don't have my hip down there. So I have a very straight body, and I'm going to hold my hip right there as I'm moving my knees. Now, I'm going to show you a few reps. Looks like this. Some people do it like this. They move the hip up and then they move the knee. So, because you're going to use high plank position in order to do your mountain climbers from, you are going to stay faithful to your high plank position, and high plank position is all about holding that straight line. So that was number one. Number two, we are going to do 12 jumping lunges. So for the lunges, you're going to have one foot in front of the other one. Now I'm going to hold my upper body upright and bend my both knees in order to move down to the bottom position, which is like this. Now on my way up, I'm going to jump in here, switch my feet, so when I land, I have the other foot in front. So that would look like this. All right? So each time you jump, you are going to count 1. If it is too hard for you, if you don't have very stable and strong ankles, or if you have hurt your ankles before, you don't really have to do the jumping part. Just do stationary lunges and alternate each time you do your lunge. That would look like this. So I just removed the jump. That was number 2. Number 3 now is down-ups. Again, we have done down-ups before. There is one rule when you're doing your down-ups. Do not move your feet. So I'm going to stay faithful to that rule. I'm going to have my feet shoulder width apart, toes are pointing forward. I'm going to get down on the ground and get back up, obviously without moving my feet. In order to go down, the first thing I do a squat, I hold my hands out, walk out with my hands, go straight to the ground. I'm actually laying down on the ground right now. Now I'm going to push my body up, so I get off the floor, walk back with my hands, and I get up, and I didn't move my feet as you saw. Now I'm going to make it a little bit easier. In order to make it easier, going down, I'm going to do pretty much exactly the same thing, except I'm going to use my knees in order to make it a little bit easier. So I do my squat, my hands are out, I put my hands down. Now I walk a little bit out with my hand. Now I put my knees down, and I just go all the way down. Coming back up, I'm going to hold my knees down and push my upper body off the floor. Walk back with my hands. My knees are still down. When my hands are close enough to my knees, I can get my heels off, and eventually I get up. So you can do that modification in order to make the exercise easier for you. After your down-ups, you're going to do 12 down-ups. After your down-ups, you're going to do another minute of mountain climbers. Do 3 rounds of what I just explained to you, and you're going to be done with part 1. Now part 2 is a little bit different. I'm gonna stay close to the camera with this paper so you can see what we are going to do. So this is part 2. Again, 3 rounds of these exercises. Now let me just put this paper here and tell you something. So in order to do part 2, all of those exercises are what we call isometric exercises. In order to do isometric exercises, you need to do something in your muscle which is called isometric contractions. So isometric contraction is a kind of contraction in the muscle, and when you do it, you do not really change the length of the muscle, all right? The other side of the spectrum is isotonic contraction, where you have to change the length of the muscle in order to create those contractions. Now, I'm going to show you an example so you're going to understand what I was saying. Isotonic contraction, the one that you have to change the length of the muscle, is like biceps curls, all right? So as you're going up and down, you're actually doing those contractions, the length of the muscle changes as you're moving, as you're going up or down, all right? Now isometric contraction in the same muscle would be like this. I'm just holding my dumbbells here or my bar here or whatever that I'm holding here. I'm just maintaining this position. And as you see, I have contraction in my biceps, but the length of the muscle doesn't change, all right? So this is the kind of idea that we are going to use in order to do part 2. So all of the exercises in part 2 are isometric exercises. The first one is wall sit. You have the period of time for all of the exercises is 30 to 45 seconds. The first one is wall sit, all right? And then biceps hold after that, heel raise hold after that, deltoid hold, and then finally you're going to do your foot raise hold. All 30 to 45 seconds. Now, let's go ahead and practice this exercises that we got on the paper. So, for the first one, I don't really need to use these dumbbells. For the first one, you're going to do the wall sit. So just go ahead and find something that you can lean onto. I'm going to have my feet in front of my body. I'm leaning onto the wall behind me. The distance between the wall to my heels is about 2 feet. My feet are around shoulder width apart. Toes are pointing forward. Now I'm going to hold my back on the wall and just bend my both knees to go to a 90-degree angle in my knees. I'm going to hold my hands off, and I'm going to stay in this position for how long? That's right, 30 to 45 seconds. So if you stay in the position for 30 seconds, you're still fine. You can just get out of the position after 30 seconds, totally fine. If you can hold the position longer, for example, 45 seconds, you can still do that, and it's really, really good. If you're going to do less than 45 seconds, but more than 30 seconds, you're still good. If you're staying that time range, you're good. All right, so that was number 1. Number 2, biceps hold. Now I'm going to use my dumbbells. If you do not have dumbbells, just search your home for something that you can hold and it has some weight to it. The weight that we are looking at for this exercise is around anything from 5 pounds to 10, 12 pounds max. What I'm using today is only 8 pounds, all right? Now, biceps hold is like this. I'm having my palms facing out. Now I'm going to bend my elbows to 90 degrees, and I'm going to hold this position for 30 to 45 seconds. Okay? I'm just holding, I'm not doing anything. All right? When the time is over, I just go down, put the dumbbells down, so I can show you exercise number 3, which is heel raise hold. So heel raise hold, I believe you've done it before. You are going to have your feet hip width apart, toes are definitely pointing forward, my body is upright. I just need to raise my heels and stand on my toes. when I'm in the position, right now I'm in the position because my heels are off the floor, I'm going to try my best to keep pushing my heels up. If you do need to stand next to a wall or your counter for balance, go ahead and do that. But when you're in the position, I just want you to keep pushing the heels up. That was number 3. Number 4, deltoid raise. A deltoid raise hold, basically. So again, I'm going to use my dumbbells again, and I'm going to raise the dumbbells to my shoulder height. But before I do that for you guys, I'm going to show you my arm. I have my elbows slightly bent, so the angle in my elbow is around 120 to 130 degrees. Now I'm going to raise the dumbbells sideways and hold them at my shoulder height. My palms are facing down in this position. Elbows are still at 120 to 130 degrees. I'm just holding the dumbbells here for, hold on, 30 to 45 seconds. I'll show you from the front. It looks like this, all right? And then the last one, I call it foot raise hold, which is the opposite of heel raise hold. So for this one, maybe you don't need to stand next to a wall. And as I said, it's the opposite. So this time you're going to stand on your heels, not the toes. So what I'm going to do, my feet are my feet are hip width apart, and I'm going to get my toes, my whole entire foot, but obviously my heels are still on the ground because I'm going to stand on my heels. This is how that position is going to look like. What I'm doing, when I'm in the position, I'm pushing my toes towards my shin. All right? For how long? 30 to 45 seconds, that's right. So, before I let you guys go, there is one very important thing that I want you to know. When you're doing isometric exercise, that could be those 5 exercises that I showed you. That could be a plank. When you're holding a plank position, you're doing isometric exercise. There is isometric contraction in those target muscle groups. When you're doing the isometric exercise, make sure you are breathing normally in and out, all right? Never hold your breath. Some people do that mistake. It's a kind of common mistake. Make sure you're breathing fine. And do 3 rounds of part 2, and then you are going to be set for your weekend. Have a very nice weekend. I'll be back on Monday next week.